2010, the year of the Global Hawk. Operating from bases on both the East and West Coast and from bases overseas, Air Force Global Hawks and Navy Broad Area Maritime Surveillance Demonstrator aircraft continue to expand around-the-clock reconnaissance to nearly all corners of the world. In January, a Global Hawk aircraft from Beale Air Force Base, California, being readied for combat deployment, was quickly rerouted to the Caribbean, where in the following days it flew multiple humanitarian and disaster support missions, providing crucial surveillance data after the tragic earthquake in Haiti. In February, Global Hawk flew a historic milestone mission when it completed its first round-trip flight from the Northrop Grumman Manufacturing Center in Palmdale, California, clearing the way for Block 20 and Block 30 acceptance and delivery flights from the Global Hawk production facility. The following month, in support of international marketing efforts, a full-scale Block 30 model was displayed in Tokyo, the final stop in his 2-year tour of the Pacific Rim. This and other international efforts have contributed to the likely expansion of Global Hawk sales into Korea, Japan, and NATO. Making history yet again, a NASA Global Hawk completed 4 groundbreaking science flights over the Pacific Ocean in April, to south of the equator and to the extreme reaches of the North Pole. Responding to the U.S. Air Force plans of standing up Grand Forks Air Force Base as a new main operating base for Block 40 Global Hawks, Northrop Grumman opened a local program office adjacent to the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks to support the Block 40 Global Hawks assigned there. The company's initial proposal for the NATO Alliance Ground Surveillance System was submitted in June 2010, with a proposal updated in March 2011. A contract award is anticipated in late 2011. The NATO AGS represents the first international sale of the Block 40 aircraft for this trans-cooperative program, involving national industries from all participating nations. The Eurohawk, the first international Global Hawk configuration, successfully flew its maiden flight in June. To demonstrate autonomous aerial refueling of a NASA Global Hawk by another Global Hawk, DARPA awarded a $33 million contract in mid-2010 for the KQX program. The first Block 40 aircraft completed envelope expansion flights in only 6 months. The first development MPR tip sensor was also delivered on time to the U.S. Air Force for integration on the Block 40 aircraft. On the U.S. Navy front, the first broad area maritime surveillance unmanned aircraft system Fuselage was started at the Moss Point, Mississippi facility in September. One of the 2 Navy BAMS-D aircraft has been flying 3 times a week in the Persian Gulf area, providing over 50% of the maritime ISR capability in the region. The aircraft truly went global in September, when the first Block 30 Global Hawk was deployed to Pacific Command at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam, and another arrived shortly thereafter at European Command Naval Air Station Sigonella in Italy. A NASA Global Hawk also flew for the first time over a fully formed hurricane in September, gathering scientific data on Hurricane Earl. To cap off the year, the Eurohawk flew an endurance flight for 30 hours in December. By year's end, Global Hawk was just shy of flying for 50,000 hours. A milestone reached on January 4, 2011. In early December, the program completed its initial operational test and evaluation requirements, essentially paving the way for the Block 20 and Block 30 air vehicles to perform sensitive reconnaissance operations and combat missions, and position the program for a full-rate production decision in 2011. Global Hawk, providing humanitarian support, aiding in scientific discovery, and of course, constantly supporting our warfighters. It's easy to see why 2010 has been the year of the Global Hawk.